Welcome to day 6 of the Cozy Rosy Vlogmas, and I'm getting a bit of pampering later, getting a treatment on my skin or on my face, and it's kind of got me thinking about how we all need to find ways of practicing self-care. I'm always guilty of not treating myself and treating others, so I thought I'd tie that in quite well to what I treated myself to from the craft fair too. Things are really frantic, looking after myself kind of comes at the bottom of everything, and I've spent this year being or feeling incredibly busy all the time. It's something that I want to look after myself a little bit more than I do already, so I am treating myself today. I'm going for something that's called skin needling. I don't really know what to expect. From my understanding is this treatment will plump up the skin and help with wrinkles and everything else. And I think it's important to know that self-care is about so much more than just going to get skin treatment. For me anyway, it certainly feels like self-care is the opportunity to spend time on yourself, be that reading, learning, indulging in a passion, such as crochet in my case, having a treatment, going shopping. But realistically, it doesn't actually involve buying something. It can be as simple as taking time out of the house, time out of your job. When you think about how relaxed and refreshed you feel after a holiday, I think it's that opportunity to step out of normality or step away from your normal hustle and bustle that people really love when it comes to going on holiday. And the opportunity to get away from just normal life can be enough just to revive and refresh you. And I think in this busy period of the holiday season, we can get lost and caught up in so much that's going on around us and thinking about other people, what they want for Christmas, what do you need to do for such and such to happen so that you can all get together, and cramming everything in all the time. It becomes quite wearing and quite draining. It's been really interesting so far doing this Vlogmas and realising that, okay, I've already said that I think I'm a bit boring, and I don't mind. And I think finding the opportunity to create more fun stuff to do is something that I need to take the time to do, so that that's my form of self-care, because I will work every hour that I have, and that's not a good thing. I should not be like that. I should not be doing that. So my husband has literally just texted me to say it is a week today until we're going to be going to a Christmas market. I'm really excited. It does involve an aeroplane. I've not been on a plane since January, which was my first flight after COVID, and I'd be interested to kind of see what the differences are. The other thing I did was on Friday, I went to a craft fair with one of my neighbours, which was lovely just to get out for an evening. I'd love to know if attending craft fairs or Christmas fairs is something that you do kind of annually, especially around Christmas. I will admit, when I was at work, before I had to go back out again, I was like, oh God, just can't be bothered to go out again, you know? I think pre-COVID, I was a lot less of a homebody than I am now. I love nothing better than spending some time on a sofa, but I was almost more social pre-COVID. And it's not out of concern or worrying about getting ill or anything, or even catching COVID. It's more that I've gotten lazy about getting out and doing things. Planning a few things to do with my husband, with my friends and my families over the coming weeks has been quite refreshing, and is almost a form of self-care for me in itself. The craft fair that we went to on Friday was kind of the first of my Christmas outings, if you know what I mean. And it was unbelievable, actually. The ladies that ran it, I mentioned earlier, I've got their business cards in front of me actually, which is Paula and the Pencils and Pin Clothing. I absolutely love their brands. I mean, Paula I met a number of years ago while I was still a maker and crafting as well. We did a Christmas fair together. I think it was a Christmas fair. And if I'm honest, it was absolutely abysmal. It was in an old sports hall. It was cold, it was damp, and it was blooming 2 days long as well. And it was hard going, very hard work when a craft fair is empty. But this event that I went to on Friday was heaving. I said to my neighbour, I'll knock on the door at 6 o'clock and we'll walk down together. And as I was walking towards the venue, seeing the hordes of local people attending was phenomenal. And both the organisers did such an amazing job at promoting the event. I don't know how much you know about kind of markets and craft fairs, and I've done quite a few over the years. So I've done little church halls, and you know, you've got all your local people that are coming just to support the local community. And then I've done giant fairs where you're setting up the day before and you're there for kind of 2-3 days, and they're really hard work and they're exhausting. And there are brands out there that are set up for that. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of those people that can mass produce something. I tried for a long time. I've mentioned before on my channel that when I sold my finished products, I had a product go as bestseller on Etsy, which is, you know, quite an accolade. It also meant that I made over 500 of the same pattern in a 3-month period, and I cannot bring myself to make another one. There are ups and downs of being successful on something that's handmade. I don't know about you, but I always would like to support small and shop small wherever I can. And the holidays tend to be quite a bonus time for any makers and independent shops. There's a really special day on just after Black Friday, which is Small Business Saturday. And I think it's a wonderful concept where it's just highlighting the fact that there are businesses in your local area that you can support. Doesn't stop me picking up the odd bargain here or there in Primark or on Amazon either, but I will shop small where I can. So Friday was absolutely epic. It was a Northamptonshire makers market. So everybody within the hall was a local artisan in their craft. And the amount of different crafts there was phenomenal. If I get the first bag, oh my gosh. The first stall, as we walked in, the first part of the hall was completely jammed. So we went to the other side. And as we walked into the hall, it just smelt, whoa, just squishy and gorgeous and lovely. And it was Heart and Soul candles. And I'm a huge candle person. I usually have one on the go when, you know, it's all part of the relaxation process for me. And I picked out, I had this amazing scent that was just absolutely stunning. It was called Cozy Christmas, which is, you know, right up my street, but it was only in a wax melt, and I don't have a wax melter. So I chose a different thing, with different candle, and it was all wrapped beautifully. The lid has come off, which is why it's jangling. Let me just pop that there for a second. I wish there was such a thing as smell-o-vision. So it's a beautiful jar, as you can see, a beautifully hand-poured candle. So Tanya is the lady behind Heart and Soul Candle Company, and Tanya was very insistent that the first light needs to be a full 4 hours long. I was like, okay, if you insist, because she also insisted that you take that time to relax and enjoy the candle as well. Smells absolutely stunning. What fragrance is it called? Oh, okay. It's called Christmas Eve. And yeah, it just smells absolutely stunning. And I will be lighting that before Christmas Eve to enjoy. And the one thing I really don't like about a lot of Christmas candles is they tend to be very clovey. And I'm not a great fan of the smell of cloves. The reason you need to burn it for a full 4 hours is to reach the full melt pool. And I think that means that it will then always burn well and you'll always get the scent released. Whereas if you only burn for a short amount of time, you don't get all of the scent on that next burn. My neighbour that I went to is Tracy, and here she is. And she also treated herself to something very nice from Tanya from the Heart and Soul Candle Company. Next door to the candles were these beautiful earrings, and they were so well priced, possibly a little bit too well priced, but they were so beautiful. And the stall holder there was just a lovely lady to let me film. I loved these little Christmas crackers, and she had so many cute decals as well. I've popped all her details in the description box below for you. This stall absolutely fascinated me. There was quite a good mixture of different things, from beautiful little home decors, the most stunning handmade wreaths. She also had her mum's pottery, which was wildly underpriced, and I will admit to say that I did pick one up that I'm going to show you in a moment because they were just so stunning. So the beautiful stall that I just showed you was Rebecca Masala, and she is based actually in Buckingham, so not quite, just outside of Northamptonshire. And I picked up, well, this caught my eye from across the way. I was talking to my friend Paula from Paula and the Pencils. I think I'm going to show you next. And, well, I'll show it to you. It's all wrapped up nice and safely. And it is this beautiful hand-thrown pottery bowl. and it's just absolutely stunning. And I'm embarrassed to say how much I paid for it because it was too much of a steal. I even said to Rebecca that your mum has wildly underpriced her beautiful pottery because some of the glazes were just so stunning. And you can see why this caught my eye from across the room, can't you? So I'm staring at it on the screen there because it's just so beautiful. It's quite a shiny glaze, but there's areas of texture as well, which I really love. And it's just such a nice size. And I think I'm going to have to find somewhere for it to be out on display. We haven't decided what colour we're doing this room. This room's been redone next year. So maybe this might be a bit of an inspiration. That blue is stunning, isn't it? That deep blue. So that was by Rebecca Masala's mum. Rebecca Masala, again, I've popped her details below. She is a florist in Buckingham, and her handmade wreaths were just unbelievable. Certainly a lot better than what I made yesterday. So this is Paula and the Pencil. So this is one of the organisers' stalls. And you can see why I absolutely love it. Oh, there she is. You can see why I absolutely love everything she does. They're all 100% her illustrations. She gets them printed out onto fabric. She creates beautiful stickers, inspirational buttons, and I just absolutely love everything she has. Now this stall is just everything I've ever wanted in life. It's by Nadege Honey Design, and she's a French lady, as you can see from the influences from the Breton, and oh, it's just beautiful stuff. And again, this is also polymer clay, where she's layered up lots of different layers of the polymer to create these beautiful designs, and they are just absolutely stunning. She is an award-winning designer, and I can see why. There was also a lot more of the eclectic, which I'm not an artist in any way. I can be creative, but I mean, these severed finger pincushions just made me laugh my little head off. There was also this fabulous embroidery, which was featured in the other part of the hall. The designer took great pleasure in telling me how she created some of her embroidered trees, and they were made using old ink rollers where the pattern is then highlighted with embroidery. Oh, they were hard to resist. They really, really were hard to resist. Now macrame, I don't know about you, it's something I've never tried to make myself. And when I see these beautiful, intricate pieces, I can see why I would shy away from it because it looks so complicated to me. From my understanding, macrame is simply a series of knots in different formations to create different looks, which obviously sounds just like crochet, but I haven't given it a go. This lady does offer workshops, so I'm quite tempted to find out more and maybe attend one at a later date. So we have reached my biggest spend at the craft fair. I did buy something for my friend from Nadege Honey, which I'm not going to show you because it is a present. I don't want to give it away. And if she's watched this, she'll probably know what I've bought her already because it's 100% her style. The next store that I visited is again, more pottery. It's like I have a thing. And it is Louise, having to read this, Louise Crockenden Johnson Ceramics. And she's very locally based she's in Kettering. She also offers workshops, which are seriously tempting. Now, I came to this store late because at this point, my friend and I, Tracy, had been separated. We'd gone our own separate ways and we're looking at all different things because there was just so much to see. And I met her back at Louise's stall, and Louise was wrapping something up for her. I hadn't seen it. I'm going to show you those later because she unwrapped it all for me. And she had some of the most beautiful ceramics. I'm going to show you more of them because there were birds, there were Christmas decorations, there were gorgeous shiny little trees, all handmade, hand glazed, and just beautiful. So I did make my biggest purchase. Now it's not huge. I obviously, you know, I'm being as careful as I can be, but you also know that I love Christmas. So I could not resist this bowl. This bowl wasn't actually on display. It was safely stored behind the stall. And I only spotted it after I'd been chatting with them, you know, between Tracy and Louise for maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then I was like, what is that? And this is what it is, or this is what it was, should I say. And it's this beautiful handmade festive bowl with these beautiful holly and berries. Now, I was too late to the party. I missed out on so many different pieces that this lady has made. Of course, it's very nicely signed. And I am absolutely in love with this. And this, again, is a series that she's made. She had quite a few series that were really tempting. She's got one with a beautiful bee on it. She's got one with all the holly and berries. There was a mug. There's various other things. I'll show you now, actually. Let's see what was on there, because Tracy got the mug. That's what I would have had the mug too. But there was only one mug. So these are all handmade. She did also have a corresponding plate to go with this. I will be honest, this was £40, which for me is quite a lot of money. And there was a beautiful plate that matched that was £60, and I just couldn't stretch to both of them. And I just love the bowl more than the plate, really. It's quite fascinating. She was saying that out of her plates that she makes, maybe 1 out of 3 get fully made because they break in the process. And I was like, wow, that's why the price is so high, obviously from the wasted material. But let me show you some of the other items on her stall. It's going to be a whistle stop tour, but you can see that she's got lots of lovely magnets and little stands. That's the bee collection. There's what's left of the holly collection. The Christmas decorations were just stunning. You can get your own little puppy made as well. These stunning trees were just beautiful. They really were breathtaking. All the detail were just so spot on. They really were. You can see why I was so enamored with that wonderful craft fair. There were so many different makers and designers there. And that was only a very, very small selection. I didn't even get to show you pin clothing because her stuff, she first caught my eye at the MK Handmade and Vintage Fair, possibly almost a year and a half ago. She had this beautiful egg top, fried egg top, and she's finally managed to get hold of some more of the fabric. So I've put my name down. I'm going to put my name down for a dress that she has in that fabric because I just love the idea of wearing fried eggs. I know, it's just the way I am. But anyway, all of her stuff was absolutely beautiful, and there was if I'd had more money, I probably would have picked up a couple of items from her there and then because they're just so well made. So I've popped the details of all of the makers that I featured in this video in the description box below. Made sure I got all of their details. They just blew my mind. They really did, because there was just so many different things that they had. But most definitely, I'm going to ask maybe for Santa or for my birthday to go and do a hand-thrown pottery class or a workshop with Louise, because they really do look amazing. I was so impressed with the variety of local artisans that were at that market, and I'm really excited to say that they are hopefully going to be holding that market 3 times a year. If you're struggling to find fairs that are going on in your local area, one of the best places to look is actually Facebook. You can search for your area and maybe put the word your town followed by craft fair or Christmas fair, and you'll be able to find loads of different things that are going on in your area. It might even be a whole events section. I'm not great with Facebook. It's changed over the years. And in fact, most of the time I see things that are happening based on other people wanting to go. But it is a really good way of finding out what's happening in the local area. I've already said how amazed I was to Paula directly, and I hope that you can see how wonderful that event was. They really did an amazing job, and they pulled it right out of the bag. And I'm so pleased that I came home with so many bags. So I didn't go absolutely mad, if I'm honest, but I'm certainly pleased with everything I've picked up. I can't even pick a favourite from what I've purchased because I love them all, but I am certainly looking forward to lighting that candle and staring at my blue glazed bowl as well. For me, one of the best things about Christmas markets is the opportunity to pick up unique and different Christmas decorations. And when I go through all my decorations and put them up later this week, at the weekend, no doubt I'm going to be able to tell you exactly where every single one of them was bought or if they've been gifted to me, because for me, I love those decorations with those stories behind them, and I have lots of them. And of course, this time next week, I will be packing, ready to go and pick up some new decorations at a different Christmas market. I won't tell you where yet. I'll let that be a surprise. So I better crack on. I've been reminiscing about last week, and today is, as I said, the day I'm going to go and get this skin treatment done, skin needling. We'll see how it goes and what it looked like afterwards. Whether or not I come back on camera, but I'm making some progress with my design, so I'm going to go and check what I've done matches what it should in regards to measurements. So in case I'm not back, I will say thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed touring the craft fair with me, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in the next video.